Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we will be looking at the install of the Max Anthony lift kit. So Max Anthony makes some shackles, and the kit consists, let's get this started. That's just above freezing, 33.9 Fahrenheit. And we can change to centigrade, 1.7 degrees centigrade. Start the first try. And view from outside. So back to what I was saying. Today I will be installing the Max Anthony lift kit for the Mahindra Roxor. This kit consists of shackles that would raise the front 1.5 inches to level it up, and for the rear it would lift it an inch. From everything I've heard, it's supposed to be a fairly simple and straightforward install, but of course this would be my very first lift kit to install on a vehicle. So let's take a look here at what all comes with the kit. I also should add that I got the front light holders, and those would be great for adding like LED cube lights. And I should stress that Max Anthony recommends that you spray all these components with some kind of protective paint. The one he suggests is Rust-Oleum, and that's what the shackles look like. That pair goes up front for a total of 1.5 inches of lift. And this pair fits in the back, giving you 1 inch of lift. Just a quick comparison while I still have my original shackles on the vehicle. Disregard the rust. I drove in very salty conditions, and I haven't washed the vehicle since then, and it's been about almost a month. So that's the salt doing its thing. The Roxor has been parked outside, alternating between melting snow and ice. And that's just to give you an idea of where I sit before I start out with the install of the shackles. And that's the passenger side. So first things first, I will start with the little lamp holders. It's recommended that you have that you fit it like so, but since I have the windshield installed, in hot weather I might decide to pop open the windshield, so I'll install it in this configuration. That way it doesn't block me from opening up the windshield. And again, like I said, Max Anthony recommends you spray some kind of protective paint on these components before you install them. They're very great quality, very nicely made. The finish is superb, and I really like the lamp holders. Everything lined up perfectly, didn't have to do any modification. Just remove the fasteners and then install the new accessory. And just get everything lined up and tighten everything nicely. And that's what everything looks like installed. And of course, like I said, I'll have to remove it at some later point in time and spray it. So here we go for the lift kit. If you look at the shackle in the back, from what I understand, you have to lift up the vehicle and then take off some of the pressure on the shackle, and then you will be able to install the new shackles. So that's what the shackles look like with the weight of the vehicle resting on them. So back there, obviously, you can see I still need to lift it up a little bit more. So here I'm jacking the vehicle. The fasteners for the lamp holder up front, those were 13-inch bolts, and back here it's a standard bolt. I believe it's a 5/8. There might be a metric equivalent, but I believe yeah, that's what I used, a 5/8. (5/16), 5/8, I'm not sure. Yeah. So I jack up the vehicle a little bit more. This being the first one that I'm doing, I don't know how much pressure I have on there. So I'm taking it slowly. Pop it out. Nothing crazy happened, so we're good. And also, just for a heads up, guys, be very careful if you're walking underneath your vehicle. And it's I didn't use any jack stands or anything else apart from just my floor jack. So just be aware, I'm very careful walking underneath the vehicle that's sitting on a jack. So that's just a comparison, so you can see what the original shackle looks like and the new one from Max Anthony. Remember, you put your bolt and then you have a washer and then you have a nut. And that's where I ran into problems. The first problem, I have to push down on the spring to make everything fit. Jack up the vehicle some. See if that helps. And hopefully with that bar everything should line up. Again, like I said, be very careful working on a vehicle that's sitting on jacks. You don't want it falling and crushing your hand or anything. So go ahead, tighten, tighten, tighten. All right, so the first one is done. Lower the vehicle, see how it sits. Looks good. And now we jack at the rear passenger side. Same process. Take out the bolt. Same for the top. And it's out. A quick comparison so you can see the difference. And I forgot to put the other one. There you go. So it's a pretty straightforward process, but having never done this before, you can imagine I was a bit apprehensive, not knowing how the vehicle would behave with respect to its weight. There you go. As you can see, it takes, if someone had done this before, you know, it would basically take them about 10 minutes to do all 4 shackles. And there, you tighten, tighten, tighten. And just like that, second one is done. So drop it down. Already you can see how high the Roxor sits. It's supposed to get 1 inch in the rear with these shackles. But you can see the wheel arch, how much room there is right now. And now we move to the front passenger side. I already have the vehicle partially jacked. but as you will see later on, that was not enough out. There's still quite a bit of pressure on there. We jack it up some more. Just remember the front is heavier. You have the heavy turbo diesel engine up front, and you also have the engine, the transmission towards the front, so it's much heavier. Just needs a little convincing. And it's out. As you can see, they're tight, but not super tight. So when you go back to tighten everything up, please just bear that in mind. Don't kill it. Pop it out, and yeah, everything is out. Put in the Max Anthony shackles. Do notice the orientation of your shackles. It's curved towards the front. And here I ran into some difficulty, as there's a lot more pressure on that spring, and I had a hard time getting the spring to drop down far enough for me to be able to start the bolt. So I tried that with a little pry bar. And that wasn't enough. So I jack it up a little bit more. Take it as high as I could safely do so. But as you notice, the spring is not really dropping as much as I expected. So the body goes up, but I suspect those front suspension components were also lifting up the spring. So here you need a little bit more leverage to pull down on the spring and separate it to get everything to line up. Sorry, when I jacked up the vehicle again, we kind of lose our perspective there. We can't really see exactly what's going on, but basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to push down the spring. That way I can have the eye on the spring line up to where I can insert the bolt. So that wasn't giving me enough leverage. I looked for a piece of wood. Push down, push. And that's what finally worked. You can't see it in this picture, but finally I have everything lined up. So Finally, I have everything lined up, and I can go ahead and start tightening up everything. Now it's time to drop down the vehicle. And now finally did the same process on the driver's side. And just remember if one of your shackles is tight, it's just because of the very close tolerances. So I used a piece of wood to knock in the bolts or take them out, like you just saw. So this is the final product. This is where I ended up. And this is just immediately after I finished. Of course, when you drive around, things will move about a little bit, and the vehicle will settle. So I drove around and let it sit for about a day. So just some pictures. Of course, you recognize the old style grill. Mine is a 2018 Mahindra Roxor. So I just drove around, get a feel for if anything changed and anything is out of whack. And I can say I didn't feel any major change. I didn't really feel any handling difference from before. As you can see, there's a lot of ice and snow on the road, so of course that can affect your handling. But I just drove around to allow the suspension components to settle in place, and I'm happy nothing abnormal was noted, at least for now. Park the vehicle. So just some more recent pictures. I love the red color and the way it contrasts with the black cab from DFK had cabs. So I allowed some time to go by, say about a day, and then I came back and did some more measurements to see if anything major had changed. Just looking at the Roxor, you can visually, you can see that it sits a little bit higher than before. And this is the following day. I'll bring out my tape measure. Let's see where we're sitting at. Of course, this is not a scientific process. Initial measurements were done on this very rough surface. You can see there's some not everything is flat with the surface, so you can't absolutely go by these measurements, but it just gives you a rough idea of where we're sitting. And that's it about the Max Anthony Mahindra Roxor lift kit. If you have any questions, go ahead, let me know in the comment section, and thanks for watching.